All right, welcome back to Live at Drew's House, another edition here. A nice afternoon in our kitchen. My name is Drew Moholland. This is my wife, Sarah, joining us again. How are you, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Coffee mugs of the day?
I have the original Starbucks coffee mug
Oh, wow.
from
Okay.
Your Aunt Kate.
Oh, good memory.
Yeah, and Uncle Rich.
I have a shout out to Kate and Rich. Hope they're doing well out in Western Mass. I get the Paris Eiffel Tower. I think that's also a Starbucks
We've
mug.
never been there, so I don't know why you have that.
Why not? It's a beautiful mug.
Did someone get that for you?
I spilled a little. Yeah, it must have been a gift. I don't know. But yeah, how are things?
Things are good.
Yeah, we're still not, we're still doing shows together. That's good. They said it wouldn't last.
I said it wouldn't last.
You're very popular. I think people like having you here, so we're going to keep putting you on. We had a good week last week. We had, we had the social distance wedding there with my old friend Sean Doyle. That was fun. We had Carl Stevens was in the house. Mookie's destroying the house right now. What is he doing?
He thinks there's food under there. He does this all the time when I'm doing Zoom calls.
It's our little puppy, Mookie, who's not so little anymore. He's been making appearances on the show as well. He's pretty calm during the day, except for, when we start doing a show. So
yeah.
Nice work, Mookie.
Every time I'm on any kind of a video conference, he goes crazy.
Since we had Carl last week and Dave Clow was also last week. So we had 3 good shows. I think we're going to try, that's kind of the sweet spot for now, maybe 3 shows a week. Fill up the middle of the week, do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday shows. So I like that idea for now. And we'll do that. Today's guest, I'm very excited. He's been on the show multiple times. It's our first music show live from Drew's house, as Mookie tries not to ruin the show. It is our first music show in this format. Alex Anthony is back. He was a regular guest on the show, and he had a great night. I guess it was a week ago. He raised some money for a good cause, went outside with his band, social distancing and all, and they raised a lot of money putting on a cool concert. They played for like 2 hours. I know Sarah was watching most of it with me, so we hooked it up to the TV, and that's how we spent was that Friday night, Saturday night?
I can't remember. They all blur.
Yeah, it all feels like one long day, really. But so we're excited to have Alex Anthony on. I have a lot of questions about that, actually, because it was outside. It seemed like people were taken to the streets, although the video didn't really show that. But I want to ask him about all that. We'll talk about where the money goes to and all that good stuff. Seems like they're really suggesting the mask now. Wear the mask outside. I know my building at work has a sign that says you can't enter without a mask now, so that's interesting.
So you've been wearing a mask then?
No, just went up today as I was leaving. So that's, I guess, going to be the new way for a little while.
I have a mask for you.
Do you really?
You want to see it?
Sure. You can go get it.
It's right here.
Maybe it's over there. Wow, I had no idea we had a mask in the house. So they are recommending the mask. Oh, jeez, this is funny. Is this what I'm wearing?
Double-sided. I think a friend of my cousin made some of those for my mom and my sister to put their masks in because they're both nurses, but she made a bunch of them. So yeah, my mom gave us some. I'm
not sure it translates to a radio/TV show.
No, but mostly you're not on a TV show, so.
Maybe the people will like this more.
It covers your really shaggy beard.
I know. I think I might have to lose this, by the way. Sarah's been trying to tell me that I should keep it going throughout.
I just want to see how long it gets.
Throughout the pandemic. I don't know if I can do it. It gets a little bit, even I don't like it to get too long. I always try to keep it a little bit controlled chaos, and it's getting a little out of my control right now. So we'll see. I don't know. You said I should keep doing it, right?
He got something.
Good job, Mookie. Excellent work. There you go. Well, that's a good way to end the opening segment. When we get back, we'll go to Alex Anthony. I think he's going to play some songs and stuff. We're kind of just rolling with it. Usually he'd come on with the band and they'd play a whole kind of set for us, which is always fun. I miss that. That is the one thing about these, shows from my house. I can't quite get that live feel. But maybe we'll try to do it today with Alex Anthony. Real talented guy, real fun musician. Keep it here. We'll have more from him when we get back. My name is Drew Moholland, live from Drew's house. Thanks for joining us again on another weekday, another week through a pandemic. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back live from Drew's house. Pleasure to join you here from our kitchen once again. My name is Drew Moholland. This is my wife, Sarah. Our next guest is somebody we're both a very big fan of, one of the great local musicians around here. His name is Alex Anthony of the Alex Anthony Band. Hello, my man. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I was just saying I love your kitchen. We're very I have a lot of taste in kitchens, so, it's...
I appreciate it. Yours is very nice as well.
Thank you. Yeah. Kitchen to kitchen action. This is great. Well, first of all, you always find ways to stay busy, but how are you getting through the pandemic? You doing all right?
I'm doing okay. Doing some live streams every Sunday. I did that fundraiser for the GoFundMe that I found last Saturday with a three-piece band. We were outside and isolated, and that went over really well. But I'm trying not to overdo it because a lot of musicians are doing it every day, and it's kind of getting fatigued a little bit.
We'll get to the fundraiser in a second. My dog is just a menace to the show today. I did the intro a moment ago before you came on, and the guy's been quiet all day, and now he's freaking out. I think he wants to be on. We'll get to the fundraiser in a second, but talk real quickly about what this is like on the local music scene, because I know you guys are one of the businesses that, it's just hard. You're used to going out, playing in these bars and restaurants that are now closed, and it's tough.
Right. So the biggest concern for me is it's not if and when things open up again, it's when they do, there's still going to be like ordinances, there's still going to be regulations of capacity, and a lot of these places, people are still going to be, scared, and to come out and stuff like that because of the virus, with good reason is what I was looking for. And that's my biggest concern is that, even if we open up again in a couple months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, it's still going to be another few months before you've seen my shows when there's like 40 people there. Like, people rely on that, the businesses, for when we go out. So I'm kind of just nervous for the whole music scene in general for a long time.
Yeah, and then there's that general feeling of, I know for me personally, I'm just anxious to get out and see a live show again. I missed that like crazy. Then there's another end of the spectrum. Maybe there will be some uneasiness of people not trusting the mass gatherings again. There's that aspect to it too.
Right. It hurts all around, like really. Right now I can get by for the time being and stuff like that, and keep myself busy, but it's just the future. And I'm planning, for the worst. I'm planning for like a year until things get back to normal for the music anyway.
Do you think we might be looking at kind of a live music scene, and maybe we get pretty close to where we were at, but do you think maybe it has changed forever in some way? Like you were saying, maybe at the bars, they really focus on limiting the amount of people, that sort of thing?
Until they get a vaccine that works, yes.
Yeah, I think that's probably the answer. Let's get into that fundraiser a little bit too, because that was a really cool thing you did. Was that a Friday? We were just trying to figure it out. Was that a Friday or Saturday night?
It was a Saturday.
It's like one long day now, it's everything blurs together. But you literally went out. Was it in live from Haverhill? Was that where you were at?
So my mom has a big driveway at her house in Haverhill. Yeah. And we set up in the driveway. And she told the neighbors, don't go out letting noise complaints because we're going to do that. And we went live from there. So that was pretty cool. And actually, the neighbors heard about it, and they started hearing us, and they started setting up their chairs on their lawns from far away to listen.
Did you say that? Did I hear you say at one point? I don't know if I heard it correctly, but did you say that there was a fire pit in the street at one point?
There was, which kind of contradicted what they were supposed to be doing. Like, you guys shouldn't be congregating in the streets right now with a fire pit, but I don't know.
I thought I heard that correctly because I did notice that a few times I heard applause and you're like looking out to the neighbors saying thank you. So I knew there were people watching from a distance, and then when you said there was a fire pit in the street, I said, okay, this is turning into a thing.
So let me say that we don't condone that. That's not what we were trying to do, but I think people were so stir crazy. A couple of the neighbors took a bunch of a couple 2x4s, and they lifted their fire pit and brought it into the street. It's like almost like an old Egyptian type of.
That is too funny. So
they were all in their mid-50s, and they didn't really care as much. They just want to listen to music and have a good time. So
I was telling Sarah, I said I would like a little bit of that on our street. I feel free to use our driveway anytime you'd like. I'll make sure the neighborhood knows.
Okay,
We'll keep a safe distance.
all right.
But no, it played out great. And talk about the cause that you did it for too. I know you ended up raising a lot of money. You were telling me. So tell me a little bit about that.
So I did my research. I have a couple friends that are nurses at Mass General, and my sister's a nurse at a sect of Beth Israel. And so I really wanted to see where we could allocate some money that would help them the most. And, there's a million things out there. You just want to make sure it's going to the right place and the one that needs it the most. So my sister finally suggested that she has a friend, by a few degrees of separation, works in New York City, or New Jersey rather. And there's all these school teachers that have access to these 3D printers and laser cutters. So they're basically on their time off, because they're obviously not teaching. They've been producing masks, like really good quality masks with 3D printers. And so they needed to raise money for that. So I was like, all right, we can collaborate on this, because this seems like a legitimate cause, and they were really happy with it. So
Are they as fashionable as this mask?
No. They're plain and not as cool at all.
I just learned Sarah just gave this to me 10 minutes ago. Well, no, it was a great cause. And how much did you end up raising? Because you were, I know you were kind of surprised how well you did.
So that night we were at around 2,000
in one night.
Yeah, that night. It's a little bit hard to tell. I went through the GoFundMe names, and then obviously my Venmo was a direct way of telling. But then the next trickle effect was like another $500, so we're looking at like $2,500.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it must be pretty rewarding to do that for such a great cause.
If we can play music and people enjoy music, if we can shed light on like a good cause, what do we do? Why don't we do it? It's fun.
Yeah, I know we got a lot of nurses in our family. Sarah's sister is a nurse practitioner, and her mother's been a nurse for however many years, and it's a battle there on the front lines right now. So always try to mention and give them the big thumbs up and thank yous to all the first responders there through this tough time. And for you personally too, I mean, you got to raise some money, and you also kind of got to hang out with your guys again, right? And play. I mean, that must be rewarding in its own right. You must be itching to do that.
Oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun to play. And it was only 3 of us, but we had a blast just playing the songs that we played 1,000 times. We were just having so much fun. It's got to be over 2 months, 3 months since I played with John too on the drum. So.
Yeah, I mean, these are guys you're used to going out with, so regularly. You're in the clubs every night and playing. And I know sometimes that life on the road seems a little bit like a grind. I mean, I know you never complain about it, but I know at times it can be a grind. It's like, grind on the voice, late nights, and then something like this happens. You realize how much you miss it, right? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even like the bad shows, the ones that you're not feeling that strong about, the ones that there aren't that many people or the crowd's unresponsive, like I even miss those ones, like you take those ones for granted too sometimes. So yeah. How is the voice, by the way? You had what are you, like a year removed from surgery now about that? I had a couple doctors look at it, so it wasn't a surgery, but it was vocal rest prescribed, like some exercises and therapy. Yeah. It's up and down because I was sick at the beginning of March. Could have been the virus, not sure. Oh, really? Yeah. Long story short, I really think it was. But that, like, I was coughing all the time, which was pretty bad, but it's a constant battle, and you always have to maintain it. It's like a car. Yeah. Was it like a chest pain that you had never really felt before? Oh, it was like a flu. It was like a ton of mucus. It was like no dry cough, headaches, like bedridden. And every time you think you would turn a corner, whether it was morning, day, Yeah.
At night, you thought you turned the corner and it hit you again really bad. It was like for 2 weeks.
So that was the beginning of March. That definitely could have been.
If you told me, if you asked me honestly, I really think I had it. It was bad.
Wow. Well, that's scary, man. It is crazy the symptoms that some of these people are having. Hopefully we're starting to flatten that curve. Do you what is the one thing that you like besides playing with your guys? Because that's obvious. But what's like the one thing that you didn't realize you missed so much about playing live?
Playing live?
Yeah. Or just the whole scene. I don't know. It might be something silly like setting up. I don't know.
I would say easily I was looking forward when I was coming home to play my Plum Island Grill in my Andiamo. Those aren't the craziest gigs, but it's all the people I know. I make a good buck, and then I just feel welcome. It's like a family. You know what I mean?
Hometown show.
That's what I miss the most. What's that?
The hometown show.
Yep, I miss that the most.
You got back and you went down to you toured Florida for a couple months, right?
2.5.
2.5 months. How was that? I don't think I had really caught up with you too much since then.
No, we were supposed to when we got back.
That's right. Here we are.
I mean, it was amazing. Like we became locals down there. Like obviously we had done it last year, but it was in patches. And so we had set some of the groundwork. But then when we came down there, you know, I think we got a lot of respect because people knew that we'd been there before. Some people recognized us. So next thing you know, like we were getting local discounts. Like it was just a different life. We started a whole new life down there.
It's very cool. You gonna go back, or you taking a year off, or I guess this probably throws a wrench into it. But.
Well, we have a residency at Hog's Breath where we go down there. They put us up in a house. We play for 7 straight nights, and we have another one of those in December. You know, barring whatever happens.
Yeah.
And then we were thinking about doing it again for just a couple of weeks in February, just because 2.5 months is a long time. And, you know, you kind of lose touch with back here and lose your grip on it.
Yeah, so you were probably about to really enter like a stretch run of kind of playing shows back home around here when this whole thing broke out, right?
I had literally, after basically all the hard work I put in the past like 3 years of playing everything from a dive bar to a VFW to make all the connections that I did, this was the 1 year I literally hand-selected from the venues every single gig that I wanted and when I wanted it, whether it was a local show, a really good paying show, or a show in front of 75 plus people. It was all the ones I wanted to and when I wanted them, because I'd finally earned that. So like that's what I was looking forward to the most.
All right. Well, hopefully that picks up again here right when we come out the other side.
Yeah.
Do you, what do you think? So we actually have not done any performances here on the Live from Drew's House version of the show. Would you like to be the first one?
Yeah.
All right. You got a guitar nearby?
I do.
You have a coffee mug too? That's kind of the in thing for the show. We sport coffee mugs. I don't know if you. Yeah. Okay. Again, Alex Anthony here on Afternoon Drive, live from Drew's house. Looks like we're going to have our first music performance. Yeah, what do you got? You got to talk about it.
Key West Coffee Company.
Oh, okay, very nice. I like that color.
Yeah.
Nice sweatshirt too. He wore that last time on the show. But don't you like the sweatshirt?
I do. It's very nice.
You like those?
Thank you.
Oh. You with me there? I think we lost you for 1 second, Alex. Let's see if we can bounce back.
We could pause it and then have him get out.
All right. I think we'll. All right. There we go. We got Alex back. So I believe this will be our first performance on the Live at Drew's House version of the show. So we're excited about this. What are you going to play, Alex?
I'm going to play a new one. It's called Maybe Another Time.
Is this a public debut?
No, I put it on YouTube a couple weeks ago, but I wrote it in quarantine.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to say this is the first real rollout. I'm taking that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Take it away, Alex Anthony on Afternoon Drive.
Your sister, she wants hope. Don't you get your hopes up? It never crossed my mind A moment in time we were drinking. Self-doubt's creeping in. Like a sunburn to my skin. Tomorrow you're leaving. I gotta catch your eye. I gotta make a good impression. So I suppose today I'll start learning another song to change your mind. So today I'll tell you how I'm feeling. But maybe another time. But maybe another time. I know you clarified. Still you get my hopes up. I can't help breathing. The glimmer in your eye. You were right there on my side. I saw you smiling. I feel what you feel. Don't tell me it's not real. It's still not happening. I don't want to jeopardize our friendship in the ties. I'll hold my question. So I suppose today I'll start learning another song to change your mind. Suppose today I'll start learning. Maybe another time. Maybe another time. I know you're that. It's all I want you to be. So I suppose today I'll start learning another song to change my mind. Today I'll tell you how I'm feeling. Maybe another time. Maybe another time.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Song in quarantine. Anybody who knows ever heard you live, I don't think Zoom could ever do you justice. So I'm very anxious to hear that back in the studio when we can really rock out. But the Zoom's going to have to do for now. Well, it's you get the point. Hopefully it battled through. I think it's a little in and out sometimes with the music. But I don't know. Sometimes you think sometimes it turns out to be better than it is. But you sound great. It's just the in and out drive me crazy. I just want more power from the Zoom.
Yeah.
but that's this is the world we're living in though. Sounded good. I like that one. This is you wrote this over the last month?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice. No, that's good. You're doing a lot of writing at home?
Not as much as I want to. I've been mostly cleaning and organizing and cutting out the clutter in my life. So
nice. This was a big problem, was it?
Sort of. Not too bad, but it's time to do it, There's no better time than right now. And I also wanted to find a bunch of stuff that I've been looking for years, that's been hiding. So.
Did you find what you were looking for?
No.
A
couple of things I could not find that I'm kind of mad that are gone. But.
You're you too. You still haven't found what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Well, it won't be. I won't feel as bad when I buy it again, and then it turns out, and I'm like, wow, I have two of these now.
There you go. Two is always better than none. The kitchen looks very organized. As I mentioned before, is that a calendar, a chalk calendar?
Yeah, I'm a very organized person.
Yeah, the pans are very organized. Nicely, good. The bar up top, that's good. I'm liking this.
It's a shelf.
It's a shelf. It's a bar thing. There's it is a little high to be a bar, isn't it? It's a Well, I like it.
Well, your food's up there, so you're not too far off.
That's what I was seeing. That's why it feels like a little bar-esque to me. How the rest of the band doing? Did they have as much fun as you playing the fundraiser show the other night?
I know. Yeah, Adam and John definitely did. John's been itching to play. Adam always. Our saxophone players were being cautious, so they wanted to play, but every guy that I asked to be a fourth member wanted to play it safe. So.
Yeah. I wonder, are the saxophone players with the horns maybe a little more susceptible to viruses? I wonder. It seems like they might be. Maybe
so. Maybe they're a little bit more worried about their lung power in this situation. So.
Yeah, that was a 2-hour show too. You did not cheat the audience, let me tell you.
Well, so down in Key West, when we play Hog's Breath, we play for 2.5 hours straight, and we take a break, and then we play for an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane.
Who do you think you are, Springsteen?
What's that?
Who do you think you are, Springsteen?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's crazy. So you're used to playing the long shows?
Yeah, no drinking alcohol, though. I got to stay hydrated for those 7 straight days.
I bet down there it's hot. Yeah. What about, so that was a 2.5 month stay. So what was how long were you booked out here when this all scrapped? I mean, are you talking about, did they cancel like the next 3 months on you, or how did that play out?
I'm booked until, I have gigs all the way up to October and a couple stragglers in November and December.
So what are restaurants and bars doing? Are they just saying we'll play it week by week, or stay into the governor's guidelines? Yeah.
So I work for the Grog. Technically, nobody really works for the Grog anymore right now. Yeah. But, at first it was like, okay, well, in a couple of weeks when we're supposed to open up in April, let's do a soft opening, tell the bands we're not going to do any bands for May. And now they're saying May 4th, which obviously I know it's going to be longer than that. Then they kind of gave in, and they're like, let's just close it down indefinitely,
Yeah.
And then when it opens back up, you just got to kind of play it by ear.
You've been doing that for a while too. Let's talk about that, because a lot of people that are listening to this show outside of, really outside of Newburyport, the Grog is a kind of a historic music venue, and you've been booking the talent there for many years. Talk a little bit about the Grog, and I mean, any musician worth their salt around here has either played that room or knows it well. It's kind of a historic place, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Grog goes back to before the stage was even downstairs. And on the upstairs stage, when you would walk into the building, the stage would be right there on your right. And they would have acts, members of like the Grateful Dead would come through. So there's like quite the history at the Grog.
Yeah.
But as far as playing that room historically, I mean, there's just been so many musicians over the years, local, touring, everything, especially Blues Nights with Parker Wheeler. He's had some big acts down there too. So
yeah, what's the any stories that jump out that are PG or at least PG-13 that you can share?
Down at the Grog? No, not necessarily. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be. Some rough and rowdy nights where, there'd be fights and stuff like that, but it's all kind of calmed down.
Yeah.
There's not too much craziness that happens down there.
Let's do a little, let's talk about some stuff that we don't usually get to on past shows here, since we're in kind of a different setting. What's your favorite like show that you've ever been to, or the one like inspired you that said, you know what, I want to do that someday?
Ooh, that's a good one. Geez. Like, oh man.
We have
talking
time.
What's that?
We have all sorts of time, so we're just hanging around.
Let me think about this real quick. I saw it say, oh, you know what? Maybe Badfish.
Wow.
Way back in the day, seeing them do all the Sublime covers and just pack the place, I'm like, wow. And
what show? Where was it? Where was it?
Here at the Casino Ballroom, if not up in Portland.
Yeah.
We would see them when we were 18 or 19, and state radio would open for them.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Yeah. But that's when I was picking up the guitar and playing music at my house parties, throwing some illegal underage drinking parties. And I'd be picking up playing Badfish on the guitar. And, I'm looking at these guys, I'm like, wow, they're making a living out of this. That'd be fun to do,
Yeah. What, how about the best show that you guys ever played as a band? Like, the one that was just, I think we've got to a level where that's where we want to be.
As in crowd response or how we felt?
Yeah, total package. You guys were on and the crowd was on.
Okay. You know what? I would say the Beachcomber last Memorial Day weekend, which would be coming up, which we have that shot again, but it's not going to be there because of this thing, which is sucks. But we packed the place with everybody that we knew. And it had to be like 60 people in there, which is just ridiculous. So much. And we were just so unbelievably tight. And people were going crazy. They were crowd surfing. If you guys ever been in the Beachcomber, it's kind of insane. We had fans that were coming to see us. They would open the door and they said, nope. And they would shut the door and they'd leave because it was that insane in there. And that's when I was like, we've created this monster. And it was like probably the best feeling ever. Yeah.
What is what's the song that maybe you like to play and love to play, but like time after time, or maybe from time to time, you just can't get the lyrics right?
Ooh,
you don't use a teleprompter, am I right? There's no help for you up there.
No, I have an iPad.
You do? Oh, okay.
But there are some tongue twisters. One is in Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
He says, smoother than a fresh jar of Skippy.
Oh, that's what that line is.
Okay.
And he says it back.
Yeah, can you hear it in your head?
No.
Yeah, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Would you like to sing it?
No, because I actually didn't realize that those were the words until you said that right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your you guys rolled out a lot of covers there for the neighborhood and for the online streaming the other night. What was the what's like the one that's getting the best feedback these days, the best cover tune?
I mean, people always ask for Son of a Bitch the most by Nathaniel Rateliff.
Yeah.
That one's hard because, back in back a couple of years ago, I could pump that thing out easy. But now with the amount that I play, my voice isn't always there for it. So I got to be skeptical of that one. But for that show, I would say that one of the biggest responses was either, Seeger Night Moves or CCR Looking Out My Back Door.
Yeah, those are two. I was talking with my my dad about that the other night. Those are two artists there, Seeger and Fogarty, who they just cross bridges. There's high school kids now that will sing every word to Against the Wind. It's
so good. It's really good. Generational. It's crazy.
Timeless music. What about the is that does the answer pretty much stay the same for the band too? I mean, you're calling all these songs, but is Adam or anybody ever you know what, let's go here, let's play this one?
They usually trust me.
Yeah.
Usually when the crowd is really packed into and I'm feeling it, they trust me. I just tell them what song's next, and I kind of try to, almost like a radio DJ, or you just try to transition the song, get to the next one. I'm not going to go Seeger to Lizzo.
Yeah.
If I feel like this crowd needs Lizzo and we're on Seeger right now, I'll get there. But I'm not going to call out it right after.
I didn't realize you had Lizzo in your bag these days.
Oh yeah, we crush Truth Hurts.
Yeah. She's quite the personality.
She's actually her band, and you should check out Tiny Desk on NPR. She does an awesome job.
We love that show. I haven't seen that one with her. Yeah. Did you ever get into we've been going through a John Prine phase since his death. Did you ever get into John Prine?
I got into John Prine songs that he doesn't sing.
Oh yeah, like people that other people have taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Bonnie Raitt, Angel from Montgomery.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Prine's voice. And the same kind of goes with like Lennon. Like I like Lennon with the Beatles and his kind of rock and roll voice. But when he was doing his solo stuff, I like the songs, but I don't like the way he sings them.
Yeah.
So like I look for covers of his songs and stuff like that and do covers of his songs.
Yeah, or just do them yourself, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have a question, by the way, Sarah?
I'm not good at questions.
You can't. She's been saying that. That is how.
I'm just here to be here. I don't do anything.
That's how that works. Every time I ask you that, you go, "I'm not good at questions."
I mean, did you say, are you doing weekly live streams? Is that what you said?
So I started this acoustic cafe every Sunday morning
Really?
for my Facebook. Yeah, it's really fun. It doesn't conflict with any of the other artists because, other artists are doing nighttime and stuff like that. So I think I found a really good spot. The only thing is right now, I don't want it to conflict with the fundraiser. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm not going to do it for a couple of weeks just in case there's some cash flow that stuff comes in, stuff like that. And like I feel like I've already asked enough of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
All right, one more kind of wild, random question. What is the show? I mean, you have this thing down now where I know you're kind of a sound junkie, and anybody who watches you set up for a gig, like you're Mr. Focus. Like you make sure everything's right and you get it down to a science. But what's like the one show that like just things weren't working right? Maybe the bartenders were being annoying, or the doorman was letting too many people in, or whatever it was. What's the show that like drives you crazy looking back?
Most recently, we were down in Key West. We were playing a show at a place that's like hit or miss. Sometimes the sound is perfectly on, sometimes it's awful. And we got there, and it's a really technical system because they do a simulcast of the feed and us playing. And they put it on YouTube and everything. And we couldn't get any of that set up. Nobody was there to help us. Finally, the guy who was supposed to do it shows up late. It's Key West. Everybody's drinking. Everybody's on the island time. So he finally gets there, and he doesn't know what he's doing because it's not the original guy. And it was just like, at this point, it's an hour and a half of when we're starting to play.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you just give up at that point. And
yeah.
That'd be the biggest thing. But I can't control the sound. And the sound is such a variable, and it's not working with you, even if it's me working it or somebody else. That's the most frustrating thing in the world.
Yeah. So if you're not controlling it, somebody better have it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So on the other side, what's the venue that you just every single time you'll say yes, please? Like it's always an enjoyable experience. Is it one of the ones you mentioned earlier?
So one that I don't do the sound for?
Yeah, or just like a great room to play. Like, what's the show that you always look forward to, no matter what?
I would say the deck. The deck's easy.
The deck.
Okay. Salisbury. It's consistent. We have our sound consistent. Although playing outside when it's not bouncing off anything can be a little frustrating. It's just going out there. You don't know how loud you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that could be a little frustrating, but I would say deck's pretty consistent. Yeah, that's the one that pops into my head.
Outside or indoors? What do you prefer?
Indoors.
Indoors?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because of sound control?
Yeah. So much better.
So you'll decline all opportunities to play Mansfield?
No.
Yeah, right. You want to try one more for us here? Let's see if we can power through it. Alex Anthony here on Afternoon Drive, nice enough to join us, and trying to do a couple of performances through the Zoom here.
Try to do a little cover here.
In his lovely kitchen, from his kitchen to ours.
From one lovely kitchen to another lovely. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. Nowhere below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no country. It's hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion to. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer. I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us. And we'll live as one. Imagine no possession. Wonder if you can be free or hunger, brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer. I'm not the only one. Hope someday you'll join us. In the world we're living.
Nicely done. There you go. This group seemed to hang in there with that one a little bit better. Very nice.
Good, good.
Nicely done. Yeah, that was nice. Got the little Lennon conversation in right before the Lennon cover. Very nice.
Exactly.
The pro's pro right there.
Yeah.
What's your, I'd like this question for a lot of the local artists around here who pretty much, if we're getting you on this show, you pretty much established in this neck of the woods. And I wonder what your advice would be to like the Alex Anthony 10 years ago through this pandemic. Like you said, you're good to get by here for a while and you're more worried about how you come out of this. But there's a lot of young artists who are like trying to really establish themselves and trying to get their name out there. And this is just devastating for momentum. I'm sure that kind of hits close to home for you, and you can probably feel bad for a lot of those artists. What's the advice?
Well, if this was me 10 years, if I was talking to myself 10 years ago and they were stuck in this pandemic quarantine, it honestly would be the best time. I mean, honestly, I would take advantage of it, as much as possible. What I wish I could have told myself back then, regardless of being in quarantine, is learn as many songs as you possibly can. As many 3 hours of material, ones in your wheelhouse, ones that aren't, practice them. Just because you don't get them on the first try, don't get discouraged. Like, that's kind of like what happens too, is like, back then I would pick up, I'd have my wheelhouse songs, my range wasn't as wide, and I would, pick up one song, let's say, what's a song that I couldn't do before that I can now? Yesterday by the Beatles. I tried that song every day, and I could sing it to the track, but I couldn't play it. And every time I'd give it 2 shots, and I'd be like, I'm not doing this. I would say to those people, these young kids, learn as many songs as possible. Even the ones that are hard, keep playing them every day. You will get it. Nothing's going to come easy. But also, by learning all of these songs, you're just going to get better, and you're going to get more opportunities for yourself to play out. I mean, if I started what I started 3 years ago, 10 years ago, I can't even imagine where I'd be.
Yeah. Do you pride yourself on that too? When people come up to you and they say, you know, this is our favorite song, or this is our wedding song, or something, like, do you pride yourself on like having the chops to be able to say, yeah, we got it, we'll grab it for you?
Yeah. There's been a few songs that I've banged out for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, I've heard that song before, or I listened to it enough where, you know, I learned it and I spent the time and I could do it. There's still a couple that I'm like, hell, I can't do that. No way. Not right now. I guess that's the wrong mentality to have, but for the most part, you know, that doesn't happen too much. But I do feel strong, especially when a wedding, you know, client says, oh, will you do this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that one.
Yeah. You know, there are musicians like Van Morrison to this day says like he gets nervous, doesn't particularly enjoy performing. And sometimes that shows with Van. And, you know, there's a million artists who have like some of the great ones that are not necessarily comfortable in their own skin playing on stage. How did you get to the point where you just kind of love it and feed off it? Was there any like stage fright, for lack of a better word?
Back in the day when we were doing like 45-minute sets with the original band, 7 Mile Drive, you should check that out. I think you like that stuff. It's on Spotify too. But some cool stuff back then. And we would do these shows and we would practice twice a week, which we don't even practice anymore.
Yeah.
Our shows are our practice because we play so much. But back then we were practicing, and then it all comes to this one show at the end, you know, twice a month. I mean, we were playing shows twice a month, but they were big, you know, they felt really big because we didn't play that much. And I forget where I was going. So what was the question again?
Comfortable in your own skin. How'd you get comfortable on stage?
So after that, for a while, that set a good foundation. But then when I started to like do this solo thing and start playing the covers for like a few hours, it was just basically repetition. I mean, some shows you'd be more nervous than the other ones. You know, you're like, oh, are they leaving because of me? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you're playing to a dinner crowd, you know, you get a ton of things that are in your head. But I would say only up to about a year and a half ago, where I'd say 95% of the time to 97% of the time, I'm not nervous anymore at all. I don't care. I know what I'm doing is good. You know what I mean? You have that confidence no matter what. Even if it's my bad day, you know, people will still come out and be like, yeah, that was great, whatever. So, like, that's strong. So I would say only about a year and a half ago that really sat in. Yeah.
So it's something you got to really work through. And the solo shows really helped you think?
Solo shows definitely did. But again, just playing long shows, long repetition. But you know what I mean? Are these things, doing it again and again and again.
Putting the work in. I know you just said something that Sarah will tell you, like if we're in a restaurant and there's like a small crowd and there's like a musician that you can tell is like going all in. I mean, I've forced her to stay at a place like 2 hours past our bedtime because like I just feel horrible leaving. Like they're clearly working hard, like sounds good, and like there's people have left. There's like 6 people here. I'm not gonna leave it and get it down to 4. Like, I always think that must be like devastating for a musician to watch like a group of people leave.
Yes, but also to the group of 4 or 6, sometimes like on a summer night at Andiamo or like maybe a snowstorm at Andiamo, and I'd be there, there'd be like 4 or 6 people. Sometimes it's the most fun because these 4 to 6 people are so engaged and watching you. You're having a beer, they're having a beer, and you're just like in this little cool little gathering where you're going to try a couple of songs and they request and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a positive to that too, that musicians should look on the bright side sometimes and grab those. You have a chance. You can play in front of 25 people and only get 3 fans paying attention and that are going to stick to you. You can play in front of 6 people, but those 6 people are watching you. So you could actually get them lifelong fans over the 25 people that you're.
No, that's a good mentality. That probably comes with experience a little bit too, being able to kind of take that outlook on it as well, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. Have you guys ever seen a solo show?
From you?
Yeah.
Besides the ones that come into our studio, even then I think you brought the band every time, right? No, the first time you came by yourself, but I don't think so.
You got to come to, I mean, if it ever comes back to normal, you got to come to a solo show and then we get some dinner.
We'll make sure we do that then. Not that we don't love your band. By the way, Bill was doing some great Alex Anthony hype work on the computer during your fundraiser. Bill Mullen.
I saw that.
Liking everything and sax solo. I thought that was very funny. And Mookie here, our dog Mookie, I think he wants to come up actually and say hello. Good, let him come up. I don't know if you heard him during Imagine. Mookie was a big fan of Imagine. Here he is.
I heard him a little bit scuffling around.
Yeah, this is it.
Oh,
There he is.
sound like an Australian. Oh, what kind of dog is that?
I don't know.
Little mutt?
Yeah, we think a little bit of pit bull and say, hi, buddy. Hello.
Hey, puppy.
Yeah, puppy. That's good. He's trying to make an appearance every show now. All right, get down. He likes the camera. He doesn't get off. But yeah, no. So he was barking during Imagine. I thought that was pretty funny. Henry's the big dog. He doesn't really come up here. He just kind of hangs in the corner. So
Bigger than him, huh?
what's that?
He's bigger than him?
Henry's bigger than him. Yeah. We got big dogs. So this one used to be the puppy, although he's pretty strong these days. But all right. So final thought here, Alex. Thank you again. This has been a blast having you on. Alex Anthony of the Alex Anthony Band. We've had our first performances in the Live from Drew's House version of this show, and I can't wait to have you back in the studio. I know what do we have you on? We had you on right before the holidays, right?
Yep.
You were the last show before Christmas, which was a lot of fun. And then we took the break, and we promised we'd have you on after you came back from Florida. And I didn't expect it to be like this, but man.
Oh, crazy.
It is. Sarah, any final questions for Alex?
You're awesome.
Any questions for us, Alex? You can.
How are you guys holding up in all this?
We're doing just fine.
Who does the food shopping?
We're short right now. We did 2 weeks ago, we did a massive order, and I did the last frozen pizza last night. So that means desperation mode.
Yeah, no, I have an Instacart order coming that I put in maybe Monday, and it'll be here Sunday. So you have to put it out a whole week in advance.
That's good that you can do that. I went food shopping last week, and it was horrible.
Yeah, she tried to go on her own without me a week or two ago, and she kind of got out of there. She was too crazy.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
It's a weird time.
Crazy times. Keep writing a lot and do whatever you're doing. Stay fresh so we can all get out and see you when on the other side of this all. Yeah. Can't wait to go see a live music show again.
I can't wait either. I just can't wait to play. I just want the summer to come back.
I know.
I don't want it to be canceled.
I know. Summer's it's such a short, great season around here too, and great for live music. So who knows? Hopefully we can maybe flatten this thing out quickly and save at least a good chunk of it. But you want to try to play us out with a little something here, Alex? Or
play it out?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it's a good idea. Again, thank you to Alex Anthony here of the Alex Anthony Band. Check him out. Alex, why don't you drop real quickly, website and all that stuff, anything?
So it's alexanthonyband.com or facebook.com/alexanthonyband. Check out any of those out. And there's always new content. I have a YouTube channel if you type in Alex Anthony, where there's new content about every other week, some videos and stuff like that. So we're always doing giveaways for t-shirts and stuff like that too. So it's definitely worth a follow.
And look at that shirt, folks. Look at the design.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a business.
All right, and folks, thank you again. We'll keep spitting out shows for you here as long as we're in this pandemic. So Sarah Conway, my wife, my name is Drew Moholland. Again, a big thanks to Alex Anthony, who's going to play us out here, another edition of Afternoon Drive. Thanks, Alex. Take it away.
Cool. When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world's on your the start you feel, and there's no one there to dry your tears. I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet. I can never do it wrong. I know it's from the moment we had met. No doubt in my mind we belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue. I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I would not do to make you feel my love. Storms are raging on the road, on the highway of regret. Winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. Can make you happy, make your dreams come true. No, there's nothing that I would not go to the edge of the earth for you to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love.
All right, Alex Anthony. Thank you, man. Pleasure as always. Stay safe, brother, all right?
Thank you, guys.
All right, man. We'll see you next time. Alex Anthony, Drew Moholland, Sarah Conway, Afternoon Drive. We'll see you soon, everybody. Bye-bye now.